Hi guys, so first things first, I hope you all had a good holiday. If you celebrate Christmas, I hope you had a good Christmas. If you don't celebrate anything, I hope you had a nice festive period of time. And yeah, I was totally gonna put up a video that basically said that I wasn't putting up a video during the holidays because I didn't pre-film, because I didn't have time, and I was like, whatever, that's just the way it's gonna be. So that's why there hasn't been a video, but I'm sure people were busy anyway. So now we're gonna get back into the swing of things. This is going to be my 2016 favorites because everyone and their mother does them. So I figured I'd do one too. I was looking through my collection, and there are a number of products that I use a lot. So I figured I'd tell you about them. Also, I am sick, as you can probably tell because my voice is like weird. My baby got sick, so it was just a matter of time. So now I'm sick with a cold, but that's why my voice sounds a little bit weird. Also, my sweatshirt says hashtag no makeup day, even though I'm wearing makeup, whatever. And the people here on YouTube, Lily Pebbles and the Anna Edit, previously Viviana Does Makeup, but she changed her name to the Anna Edit. They made these sweatshirts. There was this one, and then there was one that said loungewear for life, and they made them, and all of the money that they raised with selling the sweatshirts got donated to charity. So I got this. It came from England, and yeah, it's really good. I'll link their channels down below. They're awesome. You should go check them out if you haven't seen them before. Anyway, now that it's been 2 minutes and this intro has been like forever, let's just jump into it. I'm just gonna go through my favorites, and I'm gonna tell you why I like them if I have anything to say, but we're gonna try to be pretty speedy. So the first thing, I'm gonna start with literally the order in which I apply things to my face. The first thing is this e.l.f. Mineral Infused Face Primer. This is the one that is pretty similar to the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. It's very silicone-y feeling, but I feel like it just smooths out my skin and gives my makeup like a really good base to sit on. Yeah, so I mean, this is great. It's $6, so you can't really go wrong, and I've been using it all the time. I don't have an obscene amount of primers, but that is the one I grab for constantly. Also, I feel like I'm sitting really far away from the camera now because I feel like I was too close before, but now I'm further than I'm used to, and I'm sitting on pillows because I'm short. Anyway, the next thing is foundation, and it's the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation, and I love this. I think it gives me a pretty medium coverage, but that's the way I apply it. I do apply it with a sponge over a brush. I used to apply my foundation with a brush, and then I started applying it with a sponge, and now that's pretty much all I use. So I get a pretty medium coverage. I'm wearing it right now. I don't need really full coverage on a regular basis. I don't have a lot to cover, so this is amazing. It lasts all day. It lasts forever, and it's very thin and lightweight. It doesn't really feel like you're wearing a lot of makeup. It lasts. It doesn't emphasize the lines around my mouth, which everything does, so this has just been amazing. I think I'm pretty far down in it. From not wearing makeup a whole lot, I've used a lot of that. The next one is the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. I have this in the shade Fair. Oh, I have this in the shade 1.0 if you're interested. Also, it's always down in the box, the description box. The IT Cosmetics CC Cream, yes, I have this in the shade Fair. I use this all the time. The squeezy tube is starting to run out. These two, I'm pretty sure I use the most. It's just, again, I get medium coverage. I do apply it with a sponge, but it's really high coverage for being a CC cream and not a typical foundation. The coverage is great. It's not drying. It's very hydrating on your skin. The color match is beautiful, and yeah, I love it. So great. Why do I always drop things? Ugh. All right. Yeah, my nose is running. The next thing is concealer, and it's the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. Now, I have this in the shade Light, but it is not the right color for me, so when I apply it, I have to mix it with other stuff. But this concealer is such high coverage, and I know a lot of people will say that you don't need to set it because it doesn't crease. Okay. All concealer creases on me, so that's not really, I don't feel that claim. But it's really high coverage. It doesn't look dry on my under eyes. It's just it's nice, and it doesn't feel cakey. It's good. Really high coverage, which is nice, especially if you have really dark circles, but you're not using a corrector. That is pretty good at getting the job done. Okay, next is a powder that I like debated putting it in here or not putting it in here. It's the NYX HD Studio what have you loose powder. I really like this because I use it to set my under eyes. It makes my under eyes look really smooth and great, but it does give flashback, number one, like a ridiculous amount of flashback. And also, if you put too much on, like you can see the powdery weirdness on your skin. So I was like, do I want to, do I not? Like I literally debated this like 10 minutes ago. But I did because it just makes your under eyes look amazing. So if you do like a pretty light hand, it's awesome. Don't go overboard, but it's a great powder, especially because it's from the drugstore. Next are brows. I have 3 things, depending on what I'm going for. I have the Anastasia Dip Brow. I have this in the shade Dark Brown. And then I have the Brow Wiz and the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. So like pretty much the same thing. I have the Brow Wiz in Medium Brown and I have the NYX Brow Pencil in Ash Brown. Those are kind of like their equivalents across brands. This one's a little bit darker. I think this is more my true shade. Like it's a darker shade than these. These are a little bit more ashy. Anyway. I will use the Dip Brow if I'm looking for a bolder brow that I want to be a little bit more structured. If I don't, then I'll use these, although I can get a pretty similar look with both of them. You just have to use a light hand with this, or else it can get out of control real fast. But I really use these kind of like interchangeably. I don't really reach for one more than the other, but I reach for all of these a lot. Alright, next in order of face stuff, I think. I have blushes. Are these the only blushes I picked? That can't be right. I mean, yeah, I feel like I use these the most. Okay, so these are the Wet n Wild Color Icon blushes. I have them in 3 shades here. This has to be the pink one. Yes. Rose Champagne, Mellow Wine, and Apricot in the middle. You can see the different tones. These 2 have a little bit of shimmer in them. Not anything glittery or chunky, but just it gives you kind of like a glow. This one in the middle, Mellow Wine, is matte. These are wonderful and they're so cheap. They're so cheap and they're so pigmented and I use them all the time and I took them with me when I was traveling. Actually, you know what? I'm going to talk about another blush. Maybe 2 other blushes. Because I don't know why I didn't mention them. Can you hear me rifling in my drawers? Oh, I'm out of focus. Hello. The 2 other blushes I'm going to mention, because I don't know why I didn't pull these out, are the City Color blush in the color Papaya. This is matte. It's a very warm color. If I'm going for a warm blush, I will pick this. And then the next one is the Tarte Amazonian Clay blush in Exposed. I guess I have been using this a lot too. It's a very like nothing neutral, pinky, mauve-y color. Yeah, so I mean, if I don't know what blush to pick, I'll pick this. If I want something I don't have to think about, I'll pick this. I think that's it. I was wondering why I didn't have more blushes. That didn't make any sense. All right, next is highlighters. I feel like we're already like, I feel like I'm rambling. So the first one is the the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Liquid in the shade Opal. I have this little mini one because I got that little Becca like glow on the go or whatever it's called. These are awesome. They're just such like a natural looking highlight. It's not anything like too insane. Let me see if I can like swatch it. They just look like you're sort of like glowing from inside your body. They don't look chunky because they're liquid. Let's see if I can. Okay, you see how there's just like a sheen down here? That would be it. It doesn't look glittery, oh my gosh. It doesn't look glittery or chunky or anything. So, I mean, that's great. The next one is the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. This one is from the drugstore. Well, it's from Ulta, but it's drugstore price. It's super cheap. It's like $4.50, and it's just beautiful. It's this one right here, so the one right under my finger. It is just so subtle, but also you can build it up to make it look a little bit more like crazy. But it's gorgeous and it's so cheap, which I love. So that one's great. Reach for it all the time. And the last one is going to be Mary Luminizer by The Balm. This gorgeous champagne-y highlight, very intense if you want it to be. So here it is up here. So you can see that Mary Lou is a lot more champagne-y and a little bit more intense than the Pure Nude one, which is going to be right below it. I feel like you can see that. I can see it. So they've been great. I reach for them all the time. I will layer the Becca and Mary Lou constantly if you want something like real crazy, then that is great. But all of them, all of those, I reach for constantly. So they're great if you're looking for highlights. Those are my recommendations. Obviously they're my favorite. They are in my favorites video. All right, next would be eyeshadow palettes. I have two, and they're the Lorac Pro 1 and the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. I mean, these are great. I'm sure you've seen them before. I mean, like, they're not anything new. It's not anything, like, spectacular, but this is the Lorac Pro 1. Full row of matte, full row of shimmer, the whole shebang. Again, I'm sure you've seen this before. When I don't know what I'm doing, I'll just reach for that because I know I can do something with it. And the next one is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. Very warm toned. If you haven't seen it, it's a very warm toned palette, but I reach for it all the time. There are a number of shades that have like dips in them, so again, for the amount of time I do my makeup, if there's a dip in something or it looks like something has been used, that means that I like it a whole lot. So these ones are my favorite. I reach for them all the time over any of my other palettes. Not that I have an extraordinary amount, but these ones are definitely my go-tos. Alrighty. Next, I feel like I'm like breathing heavy because I'm like sick and I'm trying to catch my breath. The next is eyeliner. This is the Clinique Pretty Easy eyeliner. It is amazing. It has a little tiny brush tip. It has a little tiny brush tip. See? It's so little. And it is just, it makes it so easy to make a wing. It's pretty easy to make a wing. And it's great, and it is high-end, but it is less expensive than some other high-end stuff, but obviously more expensive than the drugstore. So if you're looking for a high-end eyeliner that you want to try, I would definitely suggest that one. I can't say that it's matte because I don't think it's 100% matte, but it's not super shiny either. Again, that's not really a thing that bothers me. But if you're curious, go in store, swatch it, all that jazz. All right, next are lip products. I feel like it is almost at 13 minutes and I am being very slow. So I'm gonna whiz through these. The Bite Beauty Amuse Bouche lipsticks. These are amazing. I have 4 of them. I have done a review. I'll put it up there. It's from a little bit ago, but these lipsticks are amazing. I am wearing one right now. This is the shade Saki. It's sort of like a dusty mauve color. And I have the shades Pepper, Beetroot, Sake, and Rhubarb. So those are the shades I have. I wear them all the time. They are freaking incredible. And they're, not that I've tried a lot of high-end lipsticks, but I don't even like feel a need to try anymore. I just want some more of these because they're so good. Speaking of drugstore, what? Speaking of lipsticks, some drugstore lipsticks that I like are the Maybelline lipsticks. All of the Maybelline lipsticks. The creamy mattes are great. The other lines, these just happen to be from the Loaded Bolds collection because these ones I wear the most. One of them is Dynamite Red. I wore this in my holiday look video, the simpler one, the first one I put up. This one, just a really classic red, really long wearing, beautiful color. It would look good on like anybody. And then the other one is Raging Raisin. It's like this deep sort of burgundy color, which I love. And they're great. They last all day. And they're from the drugstore. So if you haven't tried any Maybelline lipsticks, which like, why not? Go try some from any of the lines. Like, I don't think you're gonna be disappointed. All right, 2 other lip things are the Stila Stay All Day lipstick in Patina. This color is just like my life. It is amazing. I saw it on someone at one point and I was like, yes, I need that color. So I have like it in the middle. I have it in a little mini size. I got it in like a set. And I mean, this color is amazing. The color is great. If you haven't seen it, go look up some swatches. It's awesome. And the last lip thing I have to mention is this Bare Minerals Gen Nude matte liquid lip color. And these liquid lipsticks are so great. And I say that because they're not drying at all. Let me see if I can swatch it. They're not drying at all, like at all. And they go on like velvety smooth, and they last a really long time, but they wear off evenly. So when I'm wearing it during the day, if I would need to reapply it, it wouldn't be very difficult because it doesn't dry down quite all the way. There's still a little bit of tackiness, which I kind of like. That way it doesn't feel super dry. And All right, what was I saying? My camera just stopped recording because my memory card is full. But luckily, I have another one that I just remembered that I have like 2 other memory cards from a different camera. Anyway, this Bare Minerals liquid lipstick. Amazing, long wearing, yada yada yada. I already said all those things. Here's the swatch of it. Oh my goodness, why is it on a weird part of my hand? Why did I do that? Why is it on such a weird part of my hand? Oh God, why? There we go. It's like a really just like brownie, a little bit rosy color. Brownie rosy, if that makes sense. It's a great color. I got it in a little duo. It was this and a lip gloss. It was great. Not that I've tried a lot of liquid lipsticks, but I think these are my favorite just because they don't dry down all the way. Which sounds like stupid because liquid lipsticks are like, you're like, oh, they'll dry down, they're long wearing. But without this drying down all the way, it's still really long wearing. And just it wears down evenly and it's easy to reapply if you need to, and they're really good. So next are brushes / applicators of makeup things. So I'm gonna speed through this real quick. First is the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. I almost messed that up. Obviously it's well loved because it needs to be washed. This is awesome. I use this all the time for my foundation, constantly. And also the Real Techniques Miracle Mini Eraser Sponge. I think that's its actual name. I use this for my under eye concealer just because it's little and it really like just gets in there quite nicely. I love it. Brushes. These should be vaguely in the description box in like a vague order of how I'm mentioning them. So first is the e.l.f. complexion brush. Super cheap, very versatile, contour, bronzer, blush, sort of all over face powder. You can use anything. With this brush, the brush is great, so versatile and very cheap. Next is the Real Techniques setting brush. I use this to set my under eye. That's what I use it for because it's the perfect size and I use it all the time. That's all I use to set my under eye. All right. The e.l.f. small tapered brush, if I'm going to contour at all, and it's usually very like subtle, but if I'm going to use an actual contour color, I will use this brush just because it's small and it's tapered. How you doing, small tapered brush? It's great. It fits right in the hollow of my cheekbone like perfectly, and this is all I use. All right, the Up and Up blush brush. I haven't had this for the whole year. It's a vaguely new, acquired, oh my gosh. I am gonna get my thoughts together. I acquired it vaguely recently. So, but I've been using this for my blush all the time. That's all I use. And it's $6 from Target. So a little bit more expensive than e.l.f., but still like crazy affordable, and I love it. It's like the perfect size, and it's just fluffy enough, but just dense enough to pick up the blush, and it's not flimsy, and it's great. So I love it, use it all the time. Obviously I love all these brushes because I'm talking about them. Should I talk about this one now? Because I feel like I've just been like waving it around in the air as I've been talking about the other ones. This is the Real Techniques contour brush. You could also use this to contour, obviously, that's its name, and it looks very much like the small tapered brush. But I have been using this to highlight recently. And I know it's like big and like whatever, but like I can do whatever I want. I've been using it to highlight recently, and I think it's a little bit bigger, so it diffuses it a little bit more, but you do cover more area. So if you really like highlight, then maybe try this brush. I mean, why not? Do whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. Next ones are all of my eye brushes. So I'm just gonna go through them like rapid fire. Not like I haven't been doing it rapid fire already. So first we have the e.l.f. blending brush, super versatile, comes to this little point. I use it all the time. I've used it in any video pretty much that I've done makeup looks. I've been using this brush. It is amazing. Next is the e.l.f. crease brush. A little bit pointed, more flexible than the blending brush, really good for crease colors, like it says. I have the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush. This brush I use bare to blend out the edges of my eyeshadow. So, what just blew along my patio? I don't know. Might have been leaves, I don't know, but that was weird. So I use that to blend along the edges. It's really great for that. Next is the e.l.f. Blending Eye Brush, but the white one, not the black one. And this I just use to highlight under my brow bone and my inner corner. I know it looks a little big for that, but that's sort of what I've always used it for, so that. Then I have the e.l.f. What is it actually called? e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. Literally it's called the eyeshadow brush. It's one of their $1 brushes. Again, the white ones. And I use this all the time. Every time I have to just like put eyeshadow on my lid, that's all I'm doing. This is what I use all the time. and it's $1. So go buy it if you haven't bought it yet. It's amazing. The next ones are the e.l.f. smudge brush, the white one. I use this just for my lower lash line. If you have really sensitive eyes, maybe don't get this one because it can be a little scratchy sometimes, but it doesn't really bother me. So this I use for lower lash line, and then this e.l.f. it's called like the small smudge brush or something. It's very, 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 very tiny, as you can see. But I also love this for more detailed work on my bottom lash line, or smoking or smudging eyeshadow on my upper lash line, like eyeliner. This is really great for that. And then the last brush-ish thing is the Real Techniques Lash Brow Groomer. See, mine is kind of dirty, but I was using this morning, so I feel like that's fine. I don't use the brow side, but the lash side I use for my lower lashes all the time. It's really great, pointy, made of metal, and they don't have those little ends, like those little bookends, sort of, that make it hard to actually comb through your lashes. So Real Techniques. A little bit more expensive than drugstore, but can be found in the drugstore. And I highly recommend it if you're looking for a brush that does that. Alright, we're down to the very, very end. Next are these e.l.f. $1 tweezers. These tweezers are amazing, and they're $1. Do you need tweezers? Go buy these ones, because they're great. Like, they're great. They're really, really great. So, if you're looking for tweezers, get on it. Last two things, I think that we're done. This Nivea Moisture Lip Care, the one in the little blue tube. This is the only, like, lip balm chapstick I use. I would have times throughout the year where my lips got chapped for no reason. Like, no reason at all, and they were really, really chapped. Like, nothing could make them feel better. Nothing could make them hydrated. And this helped so much. I use it all the time. I go through them like crazy. They do come in packs of 2, and I'll just like buy packs of 2 just so I have some on hand, just so I don't run out. But this is amazing if you're looking for a really hydrating chapstick. This one I would definitely recommend. I know there's a couple other ones in this line. There's like a milk and honey, and then there's a smoothing one. I think that comes in light blue. I've only tried the light blue one, but it's different. Like, it's not as thick as this. Not that it's too thick, but it feels a little bit thinner and not as hydrating as the moisture one. So this one is great. And last thing that I have is the CeraVe Hydrating Face Cleanser. I use this, I've been using it for a while. Like, it's been like a year, I want to say. And it actually takes me forever to go through it. My husband uses it too, maybe not as like religiously as I do, but it actually takes us quite a while to go through this. You get 12 ounces in here, or 355 mils. And yeah, I mean, it's a great cleanser. It's from the drugstore. Again, not dirt cheap, but like $11, $12, $10 to $12, depending on where you're getting it from. And it lasts for quite a while. So that cleanser is amazing. I use it all the time. It isn't foaming, and it doesn't strip your skin, but your skin still feels clean and really hydrated, because it's sort of like a milky consistency, if that makes sense. But that's been great, and it's the only thing I've been using. Okay, I feel like this is way longer than I intended it to be, but I tried to talk fast, and if that brush part got a little bit jumbled, don't worry. Everything will be down in the description box. It always is, so if you need to like look for something, it's down there. And yeah, so these were all of my 2016 favorites. The things that I reach for, my eyes itchy. The things that I reach for constantly, like without question. Like, I looked in the drawer and went, yeah, that, yes, this. Like, these are the things the only thing I had a question about was this NYX powder. Everything else, like, clearly made the top of my list. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. If you wanted to buy some more makeup and you saw some things maybe you didn't know existed, or things that you might be interested in, I'm happy to help and to be here. I'm happy to be of assistance. And yeah, so again, I hope this video was helpful for you. If you are new or haven't subscribed yet, I will leave the button right over there, so please subscribe. If you haven't already, it will really help me out. I'll also leave my latest video up there. If you're interested, I'm pretty sure it was my 50 facts about me, so go check it out if you're interested in some things. So subscribe, check out that video, give this a thumbs up if you liked it, and yeah, leave some comments down in the description box, literally the description box, in the comment section about anything, because I would love to talk to you guys. But yeah, I think this is done now. I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.